We're here in the lovely Georgian town of Melbourne. No, of course not the Melbourne in Australia, but the one in South Derbyshire. Melbourne was recorded as a royal manor in the Domesday Book as Millyburn, meaning mill by the stream. One of the oldest buildings is of course the parish church. It was constructed in the 1100s to the 1200s, and the tower was heightened in the 1600s, with restoration taking place under the guidance of Sir George Gilbert Scott between 1859 and 1862. There is also Melbourne Hall, originally a rector from the 1100s, owned by the Bishops of Carlisle, who worshipped at the Norman Church across from the hall. It was rebuilt for Sir John Coke between 1629 and 1631. Sir John Coke was Secretary of State under Charles I. Between 1779 and 1848, it was also home to William Lamb, 2nd Viscount Melbourne, the Victorian Prime Minister and Home Secretary. Melbourne was also the home of Thomas Cook, the person who pioneered the package holiday and founded the travel agency Thomas Cook and Sons. He was born here in 1808. Thomas Cook Close is of course named after him. There are also some almshouses and a chapel built in 1891 by G. Burgess, who were built for him as well. Melbourne is renowned for being a historic market town, and thus the market cross is of course of historical significance. Market crosses have been used as early as the 600s to dictate where traders could discuss business and markets could be held. Crosses were used as the early medieval insular art style used freestanding stone structures. This market cross was constructed in 1889, paid for by public subscription to celebrate Queen Victoria's Jubilee, and was designed by James Wright. Alterations were made in 1953 and it was restored in 1977. Melbourne in Australia got its name after it became a Crown settlement in 1837 and was named by Richard Burke. He was Governor of New South Wales from 1831 to 1837. He founded Melbourne and named it directly after Lord Melbourne. Other places named after Melbourne, Australia or after Lord Melbourne include Mount Melbourne, Antarctica and Melbourne, Ontario. Melbourne in Iowa may have also got its name this way. Melbourne in Florida was named after Melbourne, Australia after its first postmaster, Cornthwaite John Hector, an Englishman who spent a lot of time there. Before this it was called Crane Creek, so called as a freshwater creek flowed into the saltwater lagoon and with a lot of cranes, as in the birds. Melbourne in Arkansas was so called as it meant mill stream. Melbourne in Kentucky was named after some of the town's descendants who had come from Melbourne, Australia. Melbourne in East Yorkshire was actually derived from Old English middle and burner, meaning spring or stream.